Child abuse inquiry set up by the Scottish Government will only investigate the abuse of children in care. The Deputy First Minister, John Swinney, is rejecting calls from survivors to extend the inquiry's remit and promising a consultation on compensation. One survivor who watched today's ministerial statement called it an epic fail. Here's our Holyrood editor, Colin Mackay.
5 years ago, campaigners marched on the Scottish Parliament, demanding an inquiry into child abuse.
We want justice! We want justice!
5 years on, they have their inquiry, and one abuse survivor was at Holyrood to see if it's the inquiry he'd been hoping for.
I hope that the Cabinet Secretary has listened to us when he's consulted us and widens the remit of this inquiry.
The Scottish Government's first piece of legislation since the election will be to lift the time bar, preventing victims of child abuse seeking civil damages more than 3 years after the abuse took place. But John Swinney's not extending the scope of the inquiry beyond kids in care.
If we set a remit, which would in practice take many more years to conclude, we are failing to respond to those survivors of in-care abuse who have taken us at our word, in government and in Parliament, that we will learn from their experience and by addressing the systematic failures which existed, ensure it can never happen again.
The Cabinet Secretary has clarified the remit today, but will he confirm that he has not extended it, that he has not brought any survivors into his ambit who were not, in his view, already included?
I have addressed the issue of whether the inquiry should be broadened from its original scope, which was to be essentially focused on in-care settings, and I have decided not to do that.
So the inquiry will only cover children who were in full-time care of the government, local councils, charities or churches. If they were abused somewhere else, they'll still be covered. But kids living at home who may have been abused at the same place will not be.
Today has been an epic fail on Mr. Swinney's part with regards to the abuse inquiry.
I'm not really surprised that he didn't extend the remit. And I think part of that again would be in relation to what's happening down south. The remit of that inquiry is so vast that he doesn't want that to be the case in Scotland, and I can understand that. But I can also understand disappointment for people who are excluded from the inquiry.
John Swinney said he was being honest with survivors about what he could deliver. Their honest response is, it's not enough. Colin Mackay, STV News.